Guys, Vince Ready here. Welcome back to VinzTalk. And it's another short one. Oh, surprise. Because I don't even feel like I have enough stuff to talk about. I was about to make one part kind of videos and stuff like that. But then again, that's like any kind of idea in my head, and I just never do it because, well, my motivation is just not there. If I told you, if I was like, man, I'm gonna make a movie here on YouTube, and it's gonna be 2 hours long. I am gonna work on it, and man, at this point, I don't know. And maybe that's just how I'm feeling because I'm tired. This is literally 2 a.m. that I'm recording this. But other than that, let's talk about some stuff. So pretty much, this is just a quick one. I just got back from babysitting my nephews, and the amount of kids that are just on their iPads, it is what it is. I just don't, man. But yeah, this is gonna be me talking about something that I want to talk about, and it's the news. So New York just had an earthquake or something, which is interesting. I know Japan had an earthquake, and Taiwan had an earthquake. But here in the freaking most earthquake state in California, we get zero earthquakes. What's up, earthquakes? Like, you don't care about us anymore? Like, you don't care about us? And earthquakes decide to move to New York. That's how bad California is. Even the disasters move away. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, New York, East Coast. Not every day there's an earthquake there. There's I don't think that ever really happens at all over there. And that's kind of just I'm thinking damn, that seems, listen, if I felt that in New York, not only there'd probably be oh snap, there's an earthquake, but also I'll be like, man, this is this the end of the world? Because it's unusual. Okay, since when did New York ever had an earthquake? Never mind a small one. Since when did it ever had one? Questionable, right? But you know what? That's just me. I don't know. Everyone was okay there. It's only a small earthquake and stuff like that. I mean, small in my definition. An earthquake for a lot of times it's scary. It's world ending. You feel it in the ground. It's not comfortable. Okay, it's not comfortable. Same thing. I don't know. A lot of times when I feel an earthquake, I'm always on that fight or flight mode. Like, oh crap. Okay. Oh no, it's gone. Okay, good. We're good. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? At least that's how I operate, because there's times where I hope it doesn't go too big. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm scared of when I get to Japan, because they just suffer disasters much more bigger. I mean, there's places in the world, this country called Vanuatu, that suffers a lot of disasters, in that area. But when it comes down to basically this region in Japan, it's how does anyone survive over there? You know what I mean? It's they say something what did I heard? This was years ago. A tiny earthquake or enough earthquakes. If there was enough earthquakes, because apparently it did not happen during this one. At least I hope it didn't. But a volcano will erupt. The Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji will erupt. And by the way, Mount Fuji in Japan, that's a big volcano, okay? You have no idea. And if that erupts, I mean, I guess that's over for Japan, right? I mean, it's been over. I think they know how to really survive out there in terms of what they have to do. Man, it will be over for me, that's for sure. I'll be cooked like a freaking Korean barbecue in Japan. Japanese barbecue, and I'll be just yep, yeah, this is it. This is my first time in Japan and the last time ever in this earth. Oh, God, I'm sadistic. But anyways, yeah, well, a New York earthquake, it happened. And also, this is about to happen. Let's get into some news. So yeah, some gaming news, and I guess, one of the more happier news before we get into I mean, I wouldn't say sad news, but also very questionable. Apparently, yeah, emulators are available in iPhones and also on Apple products. So thank freaking God. I feel like they said something "Oh, it's available in on I," which I hope to God it is. Listen, my phone is more capable of running games way better than my PC, and I have way too many games on my PC. But my phone itself, not even I don't really do much gaming on it. But when it comes to emulation, I really want to play some emulators on my phone. And you know what emulators I'm talking about. I'm talking about the big ones. Compared to that, I can't play any PS3 games on my PC. I can only play 'em probably on my PS3, of course. But other than that, yeah, that's what I'm kind of like hoping. And if emulators really work, I hope it goes into the bigger stuff. I know they're probably gonna test out like the smaller stuff, but I hope it has the bigger stuff in terms of like trying out emulators of just like PS3 emulators and also Xbox 360 emulator or Xbox itself emulator on my phone. That would be cool. Because let me tell you, my phone be running like, top tier games. There's a reason why I was in like mobile gaming as doing commentary and stuff like that. It's because that my phone was capable of those games itself. It wasn't suffering. It wasn't freaking like burning up like my PC does or my Switch or my other systems. No, like my phone is pretty strong when it comes it's kind of like the strongest gaming equipment I have. And I don't really like to play a lot of mobile games. I guess this might be an exception to actually try those games out finally and on my phone. But here's the thing: I have no idea how that's gonna work in terms of extraction, zipping, and most of the habits and tools that I'm used to when it comes down to just working emulator and working the systems and BIOS surrounding it on my phone. Like I am unfamiliar with that. So there's going to be a learning curve there and some time because I'm not sure how is this going to work. Like knowing that emulator is coming to Apple, it's a big win in emulation, and I am excited for it. So yeah, that's kind of like what's going on. Anyways, let's get into some stuff where I turn into an angry ranting, monster on this is like every single Vince talk because I just love ranting. Let's talk about the whole Stellerblade situation because it's getting crazy because I don't understand with people's opinions when it comes to that. Listen, here's both sides, right? One side is like, hey, can we stop erasing, hot babes and hot dudes from video games? And the other side is like, how dare you? You guys are over sexualizing this. And well, also we need representation. We need people that are just like, just normal people. Not everyone has to be sexualized, so it's basically not everyone has to be sexualized versus like, can we just have something hot to look at? It just doesn't hurt. And there's basically right sides to both of that. When it comes down to the whole Stellar Blade situation, that's basically what's going on. At least that's the gist that I got from it. Because for the most part, for me, if you know my stance, and I've been talking about this so many damn times, I feel like this is like the 90th time I'm talking about it. Or maybe it's the 90th time of just my philosophy in like the entertainment world. But I also want to just not really I kind of want to say it in a way where it's a base of facts. When something is hot and something is sexy, and I'll pretty much put an example here in just a minute, but when something is hot and sexy on the screen, is it going to get clicks? Compared to something that is normal looking, something that is average looking, something that is just like, just fat and just like, let's be honest, and all, everyone is beautiful in their own ways, but, when it comes like not the most beautiful at all, like, or as people call it, ugly. I don't know why I'm treating that as a slur, but that's basically what it is. Just like unattractive and fat and just, like that's why you don't see me freaking showing my face on YouTube. You don't see me because, well, guess what? I don't think I'm going to get the clicks. I don't really like showing my face when it comes down to the big audience of this. If I show my face at all on YouTube in terms of a thumbnail, like it's a different story if I like show my face doing a face cam and stuff like this and you discovering what I look like. I don't care. If you know what I look like, first off, don't share it. But also it's like, I mean, yeah, that's what I look like. Okay. You be thinking like, just think about like combining any Italian person, any white person with an Asian person, and you get like a Kazakh looking freaking Latino. That's what I look like. Okay. Freaking Kazakh Latino with a black voice. But say that I try to, like really put my face in every thumbnail. Do you think it's gonna get the clicks? And a lot of times I'm very hard on myself because I'm used to being hard on myself. I'm not attractive. I'm not really handsome. And maybe I could be wrong. I don't know how people see me. And I really can't bring an idea of how people really see me in the inside and out. But if I was hot and if I was sexy, 100% I would get views and clicks. People love sexy, good looking people, okay? Men, sure, they like hot women. They also like hot dudes. They like dudes that also when they want to look like at one day. The same thing with women. Some women also like hot women as well, not just hot dudes. But there's a thing called lesbian and gay. There's more benefits, more, and I'm saying this right now as an honest thing. There's way more benefits when you're showing someone that's hot and attractive in your game, in your movie, in your this and that. It's not freaking cancel culture. It's not freaking like anti wokeness or whatever freaking political propaganda you want to freaking put at it, and just always like put it like just stamp it on that like, oh, it's anti woke, anti propaganda and stuff like that. And it's like, first off, it has nothing to do with freaking politics. Okay, old school Victoria's Secret that people pull out when they showcase when freaking Victoria's Secret was doing this whole freaking body, just like positivity BS that they're trying to put on, and they just lost all their customers. There's a reason for that. Nobody doesn't want to freaking see like scabs, freaking like, overweight women, overweight men. Nobody doesn't want to see like the scene that showcases freaking like stretch marks on your stuff. Nobody doesn't want to see that. Like, come on. Especially the women. No, they want to see people that are freaking attractive, that are good to look at. I'm sorry, that's the honest. And I'm telling you this as a person that isn't attractive, that has stretch marks, that has all the like, it doesn't mean that I'm, like when I say that, more so like what am I trying to bring here? Because I'm not trying to lose myself. I'm really cooking here, and I think I lost some of the sauce, and I think I spilled it all over the floor. But if you're understanding what I'm saying, the idea of people being attractive is always gonna win. It's always gonna be more victorious than freaking like the people that you like, they quote unquote say like, oh, body positivity, and just like, just like nobody doesn't care about an average person. Nobody cares about that. What do you think gets a certain amount of controversy? Because people are speaking out about that, because people are just tired of it. And if you want to make a game, a movie about people that are just normal looking, then okay, do you. But don't freaking focus on like, their bodies, or just like, oh, we're, progressive. Nobody cares about freaking identity politics. Okay? This is a person of color that's over. Okay, so what? So what? Like, you don't see me showing that, and I'm an overweight person that is a person of color. Okay, do you ever see me spatting about that? You ever see me freaking putting that, being, especially being an LGBT plus channel that advocates for that kind of culture within YouTube? And I never spit politics. I never spit identity politics of any of that. And I am not scared to freaking share my opinions about these certain things at all. About the things I don't like, about the things I dislike, but also I'm not afraid to show the things that that I'm proud of. The things that I do like, that I do appreciate. That's why when I talk about Victoria's Secret, and I've been watching Victoria's Secret for the longest time, is that yes, a lot of times when I was a kid, if I gotta be honest, and I'm talking about a teenager, when I was like in my like 16, I had a phase like every other teenage boy. Okay, I was into pretty women. Oh, duh. Okay, that's not freaking rocket science. I was into that, and a lot of times, somewhere in like one day in the future, I inspired to be like that. To it got to that point, and then I kind of like just see the same way within men, if it ever has that. Like, what was that other show? Like, I think like, I don't know. There's like movies and shows, and even in anime and yaoi. I was into just like a whole bunch of like stuff that is, within your yaoi and stuff like that, that inspired me to actually make this channel about, reading different LGBT plus, content is because it came from those, but they come with attractive characters. If they came with ugly and fat, characters, do you think I would ever be, like reading that or be a fan of it? No, I don't. That's why you don't see any anime manga creators really creating that. Sure, they might create a fat or, or just like, an average looking character, just like any other anime. But a lot of times it's usually in like not really the main focus. It's always been a handsome character. And for the most part, it sells. It does okay, but it doesn't compare that to like the good ones, like compare that to like Nami or Robin from One Piece, or from like or in high school when it's in its peak. There's a reason why it was famous, because of the handsome boys in that show. It was popular because of that. In my channel, the reason why I probably got subs is because how good looking the characters are. We just got to say how it is. I'm the type of person, and I'm not good at really, and this is very out of my element. I mean, sort of out of my element. I rant a lot, but I never usually am blunt about this, because I'm blunt about it because people don't get the freaking point when it comes down to attractive people. This is just in fiction, in anime, and this and that. Like, you don't, there's no point of taking it seriously. Like, there's no point of saying, like, oh, this is ruining women. This is ruining people's lives. No, it's freaking not. It has been like that for decades. Yes, there is a point where people are thinking differently, like we have to be more diverse or whatever. But it has always been like that. The idea of having an attractive person in any freaking, especially for someone that is hot or anything, like, like Bayonetta, that's not a surprise. And Stellerblade is just another example of that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Don't yuck on anyone's yums, as they say. Like, if people think that, they're getting off to like this and that, you calling out and saying that it's like sexist and saying that it's this and putting your politics around it, like this idiot from the freaking IGN in France, like that works, that is a journalist, that is a French journalist from IGN, saying that this game is, like he literally called, like, called out the creator of this game, that actually, and even called out his wife, I believe. I could be wrong. But also saying that this person has no idea what a woman is, and saying that the character in Stellarblade, which I don't freaking know her name is, but the character in Stellarblade is like a sex doll or something, which is, or something like that. And it kind of is like, wow, you think you're trying to respect women, but that's just ruining it all. You're just disrespecting it. And like, I forget, I'm butchering it. Okay, I have no idea. I don't have any notes here. I'm speaking off from the heart. And when I speak from the heart, a lot of things are very roughly, translated in terms out of my mouth in that sense. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with my disability. I don't freaking know. But I know for a fact that I don't, that is like way below my pay grade. Ain't nobody paying me to actually give you the most authentic news, authentic opinions. No, I don't freaking care. And I'm here talking about like perfect face and attractiveness and something like that. Man, I don't need to do that, because who am I? At the same time, I just love sharing my opinions. But also, for a long time, I have always been in the opinion of, like, you know what, let people want make what they want to make. People shouldn't be like justified for like stuff that they make at all. But also, pointing out the obvious has always been something that I wanted to do. I point out the obvious. I point out, like, we gotta stop with this BS. Let me tell you straight up, okay? Because I'm about that. And maybe I learned that from, from other cultures, of just like, the way I talk, or, I give my opinions, and in some cases from other channels. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you straight up, okay? I'm going to tell you that this is not good. This is bad. That, if you be eating too much, like if you eat like, like what? Like every lunch and dinner, you eat chocolate after. I can tell you right now that you will finna die. You were going to die. And that's not, because that's not healthy. Okay, you gotta stop eating whatever kind of sugar you're eating, or stuff like that. And listen, I would say the same for me. I'm not the healthiest person despite me doing dietary practices and whatever, but I'm really trying here. And maybe there's that one person in my head that is telling me, like, Vince, we all know that you ain't gonna be healthy. And maybe you're right. Maybe I'm gonna die early. I don't freaking know. But maybe that's just my sanity speaking. And then sometimes, sadly, there's some sanity in your head that is right. And you just have to live with it. Like like me saying in my head, like, oh man, don't worry. Groceries about, it's gonna get cheaper. It's gonna get cheaper when we get a new president. And there's that part of me in my head that's telling me, like, Vince, no. Things are gonna get more expensive. You're never gonna leave out of your parents' place. You're probably gonna be poor once you grow up and probably homeless again. Just face it, Vince. And you know what? As much as I hate to hear that, it's true. It's true. You know, the truth hurts. Nobody doesn't want to hurt anybody. But a lot of times we have to tell the truth because we are tired of the BS, and some of us want to escape from the truth. I want to escape from my doctor's checkup because I know what they're about to say. When I go to the doctor date, I know what they're about to say. But I know that I escape it, but there's still that, like, oh, once I check up the doctor, he's gonna freak out. He's gonna be like, well, Vince, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? And it hurts. The same thing when it comes down to the whole truth about, like, attractive characters, about people like, hey, how come I'm not doing good in TikTok? And this person is a person that I care about, I love, but it's not that attractive. And I gotta have to give him or her, like, hey, listen, don't take this the wrong way, but just not attractive. I mean, just look at me. You think I'm getting views up in, like, TikTok? No, no, no. If I was a pretty face, if I was a hot babe Latina, hot babe, like independent boss slay all day, blondie, whatever it is, freaking with a young Beyonce face and all that, boobs and everything, I guarantee you, I would be like 2 million. All I need to do is actually just make a video of me going to bed. And I'll be rich. But no, apparently, if I did that right now, no one's gonna watch it. Who the hell, right? I don't know. But I'm an honest person, and I feel like this whole situation with the Stellerblade, I I don't really go into it in a gaming sense, despite me playing too many games. I go it in a very realistic sense, and let me tell you right now, I'm not BSing you. And I don't know how am I gonna get canceled for that because I don't get canceled because to tell you the truth, I'm not famous, I'm irrelevant, and that's just how it is. Maybe that might change when I upload this video, but ain't nobody freaking knows. Ain't nobody knows. Anyways, moving on from that, yeah, let's talk about the animation news in terms of, like, what's really going on with, this whole Illymation versus Omni situation, because it is crazy. Like, Illymation getting docs or something, that's crazy. But what's crazy is that, it's pretty much the first topic surround this. I think that was supposed to be the last one, the whole doxing thing. It's not nice to dox anybody, despite if you, disagree with them or anything. That's just not how you go about things at all. But with that, like, what did Illymation make? Illymation is an interesting YouTuber. And listen, I try my best not to talk about YouTubers that, and especially for ones that, give I give criticism, but I don't hate them. I love Illymation. She's cool. Listen, like, there's this other channel that I really like. I love their stuff. But if I hear their politics, I know for a fact I'm like, can you please shut up? Can you please shut up? But at the same time, I love their content. I love their personality. I love everything about them. But I know that we're not going to agree or disagree. And you know what? That's how life is. What did Omni say? That, and that I like Omni. There's some stuff that I agree from, and there's some stuff that I kind of just like, man, you sound like an idiot. I'm going to be honest with you. The person that you love the most, they might say something like, that you don't like, or the most hated person will be, saying this and that. You might get into a fuss about them. It might make you upset in a certain way, like certain comments that I had. I had, like, haters telling me this and that, but they also say one thing that is correct. They say one thing that is correct, and I'm just like, well, I hate you right now. I don't know you. I know you don't want to, you do not want to test me. You do not want to test me. But you're right. You're right. You're right. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're telling the truth. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, but I don't like you. I'm gonna still block you. You're right. And I get that from it's literally anyone. Anyone. And I say this the same thing with Omni, Illymation, or any other YouTuber I watch. I'm still subscribed to Kind of Funny. There's a lot of things that they say where I'm like, okay, y'all sound stupid. You know that? Y'all sound stupid. You're over here talking about this and this and about the LGBT plus community. You have like zero in your freaking cast of people in San Francisco out of anywhere else. But you talking about this and that, which I'm not gonna say, even though I give you a hint about it. But at the same time, I freaking love Kind of Funny. I love Kind of Funny. I may not agree with some of them. They might change. Their opinions might change and might be open-minded, which I appreciate. But I might not agree with everything you say. And you know what? That's okay. There's still stuff that my, best friend did. And I still remember those things that you said about me. I still remember those things that, that I don't appreciate. And it sometimes gets to me, especially if you bring my family up, you bring my ex up. I don't like that. But at the same time, they ain't wrong. They ain't wrong. But also, they're still my best friend, right? So when it comes down to Illymation, that I'm not just, I actually am not subscribed to Illymation. I just watch her videos time after time. It's pretty cool stuff, but I don't know. I guess like I grew up from it the same way I grew up from from Jacksepticeye. I'm just like, yeah, I guess it's okay, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And maybe I had this whole, just like me having this whole philosophy of being real, I don't really care. I don't find it entertaining as I used to. Not every video that, I watch from Omni was entertaining. But the difference is that I watch stuff, a lot of times I don't watch it. I just listen to it and I'm like, okay, this is a cool thing to listen to while I'm playing my game here. And that's what I do. But Illymation, her opinions about like body positivity, and like I said before, and you already know where my opinion is going with this. But again, it's all butchered. I don't really have the exact notes of what she said or this or that. And it's usually stuff that I will disagree with, but there's some stuff where I'm like, oh, that's kind of true. And when it comes down to actually, listen, you shouldn't be okay eating like certain things that you know for a fact that is bad for you, that makes you feel disgusted, all because it, makes you happy and stuff like that. That shouldn't be it at all. I guess Omni has a better way of really talking about it when, Illymation was just like, really encouraging other people like, hey, it's okay not to lose weight. It's okay not to eat healthy. It's okay to, and that's not cool. Like you can't tell a young audience that at all. You can't, and because I'm just picturing like maybe her audience is young. I have no idea how old this Illymation is. I get this weird feeling that she could be 25. I don't freaking know. She could be almost 30 for all I know. I really don't. Like, she still gives me those 20 vibes. She still, listen, if she told me, like, oh, if Illymation came up to me and told me, like, I'm 19, I'll be like, well, duh. But at the same time, I don't freaking know. I still have people thinking I'm freaking like 21 and I'm almost in my 30s, but that's despite this point. Other than that, like I don't want to really put words into Illy's mouth. But she said something about and from what I heard, that being fat is okay, being this is okay, and sort of being an advocate for that. Like, I don't really find that a solution for anything at all. A lot of times, you kind of have to be honest with yourself, and is it right for you? Is it good for you? Or is it going to destroy you? Now, I'm just saying. But, yeah, it is what it is. And also, I might as well talk about, what other people are talking about, since I'm almost in the tail of this video. Pretty much, let's talk about what most people are talking about. This is my, idea of just, series of stuff that I want to say when it comes down to, everyone's, talking about this and that, so I might as well go into it. and it could be into a rant because the first one I'm about to say is like everyone's talking about Invincible season 2. I seen season 1. People need to shut up about season 2 of Invincible. For the love of God, you know who you are. You just have to spoil it. Can you not spoil it? I just don't understand. And these are channels I support, but I don't appreciate people just spoiling, like, like anything. Like, if you spoil this movie, it's like, oh my God, do you see what happened to Timothy Chalamet? Shut up. Why you gotta put that? You're ruining it for everyone. Can you not spoil it? Like, for the love of God. Like, I haven't seen it yet. But no, they just, like, put a thumbnail and put this and that. And it's pretty much the same thing that's happening with Invincible. And I'm just like, listen, can you please not post an image about All Blood? And I get what they're doing. They're talking, they really want to talk about it. And it says spoilers in it. And I'm probably best, but the thumbnail could almost give it away immediately. So please be careful with the thumbnail. Also be careful with that title, obviously. And also, another thing, still, people are still talking about Rebirth and Helldivers. I just don't understand it. I'm just tired of just people yapping about the expensive stuff that they own. It's like talking about a Tesla truck. And I'm just like, okay, who the frick has that type of money? I mean, I could say the same thing with people like yapping about the freaking Apple Vision Pro. Even though that Apple Vision Pro, from what I heard, is like $2,000. Who the hell has that money? And by the way, it's not $2,000. Guess what? It goes up to $3,000 or $4,000 because of tax. And people are just yapping about it. And I'm just like, this is not going to be a trend. This is not going to, it is not worth that money. I'm sorry. But hey, anything with that is a goggles into your face is kind of like, the same price as like your yearly or your pretty much your century's mortgage. Because for Christ's sakes, everything's expensive here. What else? And I say that the same thing about games. Man, I don't want to hear about Helldivers. It's always just like this podcast, that and they always do the freaking like, okay, man, I just came like only like 1 month of Helldivers, and it's like, bro, you just had a whole entire review of freaking Helldivers. Please shut up about Helldivers. For Christ's sakes, about Helldivers. Can people just like stop talking about like freaking games? Like, hey guys, I'm talking about like, this game, that game, and whatever game, and just, it costs this much, and yeah, I don't know. But it is what it is. Also, I just remembered something, and I guess that's the end of me ranting about that. But I also forgot something in the news that I forgot to mention, that I heard that Joe Biden, like, replace, what is it? He replaced, like, Easter, because Easter was last weekend, with Trans Visibility Day. And I'm just like, isn't there, like, Pride Month? Can we just put all, like, the, Pride, holidays in that particular month? Because it seems like every single month is a certain Pride Day. I'm just like, listen, there's enough Pride days. Can we just, like, and this is a person that's speaking about Pride that is in that community, the same thing if, me being bi, if there was a bi day on a particular holiday like Christmas, I mean, like, why would you put it there? Why? Can you put it somewhere else then? I don't know what's up with the calendar. But I did rant about it. I did have a video about it, and I might as well link it in the description. Or not. But I might. So, hey, it's worth checking. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm just Scarlet, like, on my jazz. That's it for me. I'm out of here. I'm done, so. One love and a peace. God bless.